be away over this stumbling block. Some way, oh, there has to be a way to bridge the precipice drop. Some way, my foreparents came here a long time ago with a dirty plan that was oh so low. They came here searching for fortune and fame. Sugar and slaves was the name of the game. And now the legacy falls like rain. I can see the anger and I feel the pain. Oh, there has to be a way, some way, over this stumbling block. Some way, oh, there has to be a way to bridge the precipice drop. Some way.
Okay, shalom family, shalom. All right, this video is going to be in the history of Inquisition. I'm going to bust out a few deceptions that's going on. The last video I did about the 400 years, I showed you scriptures, and I'll show some more scriptures on this one too. But what I mainly want to do in this video is I want to get to some actual knowledge. A lot of this stuff that I don't get to show anybody of it because whenever I start bringing it out, everybody, they have to run. You know, they got to run. So I got about 20 books I got to bring out. And I'm going to start off with, matter of fact, I'm going to start off with Deuteronomy 28:68. You guys know Deuteronomy 28:68, right? You guys know that. Open your scriptures, open the Bible to Deuteronomy chapter 28:68. All right, 28:68. Now, I'm gonna bring a few things out in the scriptures, and then I'm going to get into some secular knowledge that backs up the scriptures that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm going to show you guys some knowledge that you don't know about because they don't teach you in school, because they don't want you to know this type of stuff. Okay? Now you're going to get Deuteronomy 28:68, and it reads, "And the Lord shall bring thee," I don't need the glasses for this one. "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." Now, I broke down that verse in my last video, so you can refer to that one. So that's saying that we are going to be sent on slavery. The children of Israel, remember, that's the law of Moses. He tells the children of Israel, if you don't listen to what the Most High says, these things are going to happen to you. And we're going to go into slavery on slave ships, and we're going to serve 400 years. Now, that's Genesis chapter 15 and Acts 7:6. All right, it talks about 400 years. Okay, so now I'm going to get you something, also some more scriptures, before I get into these books that shows that we were going to be scattered to the four corners. That's how we got to where we at. We got scattered. And what's the perfect way to scatter somebody to the four corners of the earth? On ships. On ships. So this is what happened to our people, okay? We got scattered on the four corners of the earth on slave ships. And I'm going to show you books proving this, that before slavery, who we actually were before slavery. See, what they tell you is that they tell you that we was African booty scratchers hanging off of trees, throwing spears and eating bananas. That's what they tell us. But have you noticed that they never go into the dark ages? They never go into the dark ages. And I'm going to explain to you why they don't go into the dark ages. All right. First things first. I'm just going to give you the scriptures. All right. Matter of fact, Ezekiel or Psalms 106. I'm going to give you one scripture, and then the rest I'll just read them out to you, and you can write them down yourself. Psalms 106, 27. 106, 27. To start at 26. Therefore he lifted up his hand against them to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed also among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. To scatter them. All right. So the Most High has pretty much said that he's going to scatter us, and which that's what he did. All right. Also get Jeremiah. Get Jeremiah. We're going to get Jeremiah 9:16. Jeremiah 9:16. All right. And then from there, I'll just read you the rest, because I got a lot of them. I got like 27 scriptures written down. So we're going to get Jeremiah 9:16. And it reads, I will scatter them also among the heathens, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, and I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. So that was going to be the punishment for the Israelites if they didn't obey the laws of the Most High. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, 1 through 14, it says all the blessings. It's like 14 verses. But then if you read the rest, it says a whole bunch of curses. And those curses is what happened to us. And it also tells you in Deuteronomy that these curses are going to be upon us for a sign. Right? But these curses have happened to no one else except for the so-called Negroes. Nobody else. And these are the signs, all the signs, okay? So let me give you more scriptures on scattered, okay? Ezekiel 22:15, Zechariah 10:9, Jeremiah 13:24, Leviticus 10:5, Ezekiel 5:10, Leviticus 15:25. If you read the ladder of Jacob, it's also in the ladder of Jacob, chapter 5, verse 12. If you read the book of Jubilees, it's also in Jubilees, chapter 1, 12 through 20. Ezekiel 20, verse 23, Baruch 3:8, Baruch 2:29, Deuteronomy 28:64, Ezekiel 36:10 through 24, Leviticus 26:33, and Deuteronomy 4:27. Those are all the scriptures that I have about us being scattered through the four corners of the earth, throughout the nations, and we're going to be serving strange gods. So this is what happened to the Negroes. Everybody in the world knows who they are except for us. All right? And we listen to our oppressor on who we are. Okay? First things first, we're going to get into a book called Nature Knows No Color Lines. All right? This is the book. Nature Knows No Color Lines. Now, I have these PDFs. If you guys need the PDFs, let me know. I'll send them to you. Send your email, or I'll put my email, because a lot of people don't like to put their email on blast, but I got an email that I don't really care about. So, Nature Knows No Color Lines, okay? And I'm going to open this thing up. I'm going to use the PDF because I already have it here. All right? And Nature knows no color lines. Here it is. We're going to start off at page 123. Okay? Let's zoom in on this. 123. Okay. 123. Nope. Nope. All right, 123. All right. Let's go. Let's start off at let's start off up here, okay? The discovery, he says, was disconcerting to literary historians and philologists, for the race was proved to be not a branch of the civilizing Aryans, nor of the gifted Semites, but of a Negroid people having affinities with Mongols. All right, let's go down to 28 right here. Tacitus of about 90 AD says many assert that the Jews are an Ethiopian race. For Romans to have taken them for Ethiopians, it is a clear indication of their color, since the Ethiopians were definitely black to the Romans. Ancient Jewish legends, listen to this. This is going to be some deception here, so I want you guys to pay close attention. This is legend. Ancient Jewish legend themselves recognize a Negro strain among the Jews. So now it went from facts to now a Jewish legend. Okay. A Negro strain among the Jews. Genesis Rabbah reads, when the Jews returned from Babylon, their wives had become brown almost during the years of captivity, and a large number of men divorced their wives. So they're saying when they left Babylon, their skin became brown. All right. The divorced women probably married black men, which would to some extent account for the existence of black Jews. You hear that? You hear that freaking deception right there? All right. Now they shoot themselves in the foot right here. Let's go down to here. An interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews. Especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. You see that? Especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Pritchard. The Duchess de Abrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, you see this? The Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. You see how that works? Let's keep going. So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark. This belief, said Barbet, shows what an error most people are in, since he says the German Jews, as for example those of the Prague, are as white as most of the German countrymen. Many of the Jews who were banished, listen to this. So now they're trying to say the Jews are see, so they give you some facts, right? Then after they give you facts, they give you some hearsay, right? Many of Jews who were banished from Portugal by John II. All right, now I'm going to scroll this down, okay? So these are showing pictures of Jews. Look at this. Holland, Germany. These are pictures of Jews. You see what they're doing? You see how the deception works? And now they're trying to show Europeans with woolly hair. You see? The deception is real. Now let's keep going. All right? Let's keep going with this. Now we're going to start off on page 130. And this is going to pick off from 123. Settled in the West Indies. Bring this in. John Bigelow, who visited Jamaica in 1850, saw the descendants of these Jews and says that they were Negroid. You see, no more speculation. This is an actual account of somebody saying this, okay? He said that the Jews were Negroids. The Eastern Jews who settled in Austria, Poland, and Russia were Negroid too. Now, those are the pictures I just showed you. See, look. Belgium, Holland. See? I just showed you pictures of Negroes. Germany, 17th century. All right? The Eastern Jews who settled in Austria, Poland, and Russia were Negroid too. Count Adam Gorowski of Poland, who visited the United States in 1857, said that the Jews of his country strongly resembled American mulattoes. Numbers of Jews, he said, have the greatest resemblance to the American mulattoes: sallow complexion, thick lips, crisp black hair. Of all the Jewish population scattered over the globe, 1/4 dwells in Poland. I am therefore well acquainted with their features. Listen to this. On my arrival in this country, America, I took every light-colored mulatto for a Jew. Considerable Negro strain was found, too, among the Polish Jews in London. For years, two New York white dailies, the News and the Mirror, have been advertising kinky hair straightening permanently in one treatment. That means perms. They've been advertising perms. The service is for whites only. The customers are probably Jews. A Negro hairdresser in Harlem once had many of them among her customers. You see what I'm saying here? Let's keep going. Karl Marx, who bore a strong resemblance to Frederick Douglass, undoubtedly came of this Negroid stock. His nose was broad, his hair frizzy, and his color so dark he was called the Moor. You see that? The Negro strain was even more evident in Ferdinand Lassalle, aristocratic founder of socialism. Marx, his rival, called him a Jewish nigger, a greasy Jew from Breslau who always concealing his woolly hair with all kinds of hair oil and makeup. And they so you guys see where I'm going right here, right? In a letter to Engels, March 7, 1856, he said of Lassalle, "It is perfectly obvious from the shape of his head and the way of his hair grows that he is descended from Negroes." You see what I'm saying here? So, this book is called Nature Knows No Color Lines. I mean, as you see, I have a lot of tabs in it. I can keep going with this book, but I suggest you get it yourself. All right? I'm going to give you some pages. If you do get it, I'm going to give you the pages, actually. All right? You can do page 13 through 14, page 71 through 70. Actually, I mean the whole book, man. I mean the whole book. If you just open the book and start reading, you'll find so much juicy stuff in it. All right? It's very juicy. That's one witness. That's one witness. Okay? Nature Knows No Color Lines. Now we're going to get a book called The Critical Review or Annals of Literature, Volume 57. Now, these are scholarly books. This book, Nature Knows No Color Lines, actually was published in like the 1800s. So these are all old books. And in their old books, they actually wrote the truth. But now in the new books, they had to make lies to recant the old books to keep up the deception of who the real Jews are. Who the real Jews are. You Negroes, you black folks, we are the people of the Bible. Don't let them fool you. Even if you don't believe me, just research it. Just read all the books. Okay? And a Jewish, one of the fake ones, one of the Revelation 2:9 people, and 3:9, they coined a famous quote. And it said, if you want to hide something from a nigger, you put it in a book. And that's what they did. They put it all in books. All right, so we're going to get this book right here. Let me show you the year this book was published. And these are all reprints. So this book was published, and it's a reprint. So when you get these reprints, they just reprint it. This one was published at. Where's it at? Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, this book is, what is it? 1700s, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to get this book for you. I'm going to get it for you. Okay. And where's it at? Where's it at here? Here it is. Here it is right here. Okay. Now, this book here is going to prove that the Jews were expelled from Spain. They were expelled from Spain, and then they were sent to the west coast of Africa on the Ivory Coast. And it's also proving that the so-called Jews, the Negroes, are a different race from the Africans. They're actually calling us Africans, but really we're not Africans. So this book is a witness that actually proves this. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Where are we gonna start off at? Okay, let's start off here. We're going to start off at the bottom of page 140. Remember, this book is called the Critical Review or Annals of Literature, Volume 57. I have this PDF, obviously. If you guys want these PDFs, let me know, and I'll get you the email. Okay, let's start here. The first period, Professor Spengel divides a history of the Negro trade carried on by Christians. You see that? By Christians. So all you Negroes who are Christians, you need to wake up. Into two principal periods. The first from 1443 to 1645, and the second from 1645 to the present times. The first period is the time of its increase, during which not only its founders, the Portuguese, but the English and the Dutch and the French dealt in Negro slaves, though chiefly for the use of consumption of the Spaniards and the sugar, tobacco plantations in Brazil. During the latter period, these four nations were obliged to share the trade with the Swedes. Now, remember I just read you in Nature Knows No Color Lines that the Portuguese Jews, the native ones, were black? Yeah. Let's keep going. The Swedes, the Danes, the Brandenburgers, the Brandenburgers are actually a Jewish, those imposters. They're a white Jewish family, and they actually helped put us in slavery, and then they stole our name. They helped put us in slavery, and when we went into slavery, they assumed our position. All right. The North Americans since 1778 with the Spaniards, their trade, however, still increased not only by the Swedes and Brandenburgers, sealing their navigation to the coast of Guinea. The coast of Guinea. Now, I think I got a map of the coast of Guinea, don't I? Do I got a map? Here it is. I got a map of it. Here it is right here. The New Guinea is on the coast of West Africa. Okay? And if you look closely right here, they named it after the slave colony. They called us Negroes. They changed our names from the Jews or the Israelites, and they gave us the term Negroes. And that's how we changed our names. And then they start saying that we're African. But really, we wasn't from there. We were actually shipped there on slave ships from Spain and some parts of Northern Africa. Okay? Let's keep going with this. Of their navigation to the coast of Guinea, but from the annual demand of a supply of more than 100,000 Negro recruits for their own colonies, the author confines his relation to the first Negro trade to that carried on by the Portuguese and Spaniards. Gonzalez was the first Portuguese who in 1442 returned with Negro slaves. You hear this? Listen to this. Listen to this. Gonzalez was the first Portuguese who in 1442 returned with Negro slaves purchased instead of the Africans. You see that? They're showing a separation from Negroes and Africans. Israelites and Hamites. Israelites and Hamites. Now, all of you know what the Zonderman's dictionary says about Ham. It says Ham is is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro, right? I don't even got to bring that out because you guys know that already. All right. The Bible Dictionary, the Zondermans, and the Young's also says the same thing. The Young's Bible Dictionary says that the Negroes and the Africans are two different races of people. And the Africans actually enslave us. But what do they tell us in history? That we sold our own people. That they tell us that we sold our own people. But this proof is a witness that we didn't sell our own people, that we were actually sold by other black race of people, another black race. Let's keep going here. Instead of the Africans who had till then been carried off by mere violence, but soon after the Portuguese became better acquainted with the African regions and their valuable productions, Prince Henry founded the first Guinea company that settled factories in the Sortros of Arguin, and got the exclusive privilege of trading with who? Arabs. So now you see there's multiple people now involved in this slave trade. We got Christians, we got Africans, and we got Arabs, and we also know about the white folks too, right? Now there's a scripture actually on it. Psalms 83. You guys get Psalms 83? I'll get it in my Bible. You can get Psalms 83 real quick. Okay? Get Psalms 83. And I'm going to read you this in the scriptures of what these people have done. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Psalms 83. All right. Psalms 83. Open that up, and we're going to read verses 1. Verses 1. And I'm going to go all the way down to 12. All right? So Psalms 83 verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahuwah. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahuwah. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against the hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. This is what they did. They all conspired in putting us in slavery, and then changing our names to Negroes and African Americans and Dominicans and all these different names, so that we don't know who we are. Let's keep going. So that we don't even know who we are, or not even in remembrance. And there's a scripture that backs that up, that says that we will discontinue from our heritage. And also there's another scripture that says that the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel won't even consider. That's you niggas who won't even consider this information. You won't even consider it because you're so hell-bent on being a damn Christian. Let's keep going. For they have consulted together with one consent, that they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Assur also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, as to the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung on the earth. So they all have consulted together to make us like shit on the earth. Isn't that what they've done? We are at the bottom. We are at the bottom. Okay? So that's Psalms 83. You guys can get that for yourselves. You guys can read the whole thing if you want. But let's keep going. The trade soon, we're starting off here. The trade soon increased, so that in 1455, not less than 700 or 800 Negro slaves were annually exported to Lisbon. At the length of the Portuguese in 1471 discovered the Gold Coast. Where's the Gold Coast? Where's the Gold Coast? I just showed you where the Gold Coast is at, right? This is the Gold Coast off of New Guinea. Okay? That's the Gold Coast. And ever since, the intercourse between Portugal and Guinea was continued. So Portugal, Spain, Portugal, Spain. Okay? The Portuguese endeavored to exclude other nations from Guinea, while the rest of the European navigators were in spite of papal bulls, which means the Pope, the papacy, the Catholic Church, and all the reports industriously spread of the pretend dangers of that coast, striving to get a share of the profitable gold trade. The discovery of the Gold Coast served indeed yet more to enlarge the sphere of the navigation of the Portuguese than their slave trade, but it forced them also to extend themselves on the coast and to settle colonies. Listen to this. And to settle colonies in Congo, Angola, and other places which they had till then neglected. So what they have done is they have made coast. They didn't just get us from Africa. What they did was they set up a slave coast and they brought us from other places and they brought us all there to be sold like a store. Okay. Let's get further proof. Prince Henry's colonies were enlarged by his successors. King John II in 1492, listen to this, in 1492, expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas. Let's get St. Thomas. St. Thomas. The Virgin Islands. Ain't there a lot of black people there? Isn't there a lot of black people there in St. Thomas? Huh? You see what I'm saying? These people are wicked as hell. And the deception is out here. It's there. They lying. The Most High have blown the top off of their lies. They try to mix it with lies. We know what it is. Let's keep going. Expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471, and to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. You see this? And to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. You see what they done? They took us from Spain, and then they settled us on settlements in the continent of Africa, which is where? New Guinea. New Guinea. Right here, y'all. See, don't let these people lie. They're liars. New Guinea. Okay? And other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, as they are called, you see this? The Black Portuguese, as they are called, and the Jews in Loango, who are despised even by the very Negroes they are descended. You see what I'm saying here? By these colonists, St. Thomas soon became a considerable place of trade and valuable for its sugar plantations. So they shipped us to different places, and they shipped us to St. Thomas to make sugar and the sugar plantations. You see what they've done? So this is where we came from before slavery. Now that's a second witness. I showed you this book, didn't I? I showed you this book. Let's go back to it again. Page 123. That's where I was at. 123. Just to give you a fresh recap of what I'm talking about. And I have many more books on this stuff, on the wickedness, what they have done to our people, the deception. And I'm also going to go to another book that's called Religious Instruction of the Negro. All right. So I just read you here that says that, and from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, as they are called, are the Jews in Loango, who are despised even by the very Negroes they are descended. All right. King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which has been discovered in 1471. Okay. Now let's get here. Let's get here. Here it is here. That says the people of Western Judea were part Egyptian ancestry. No, let's go down. For Romans to have taken them for Ethiopians, it is clear indication of their color, since the Ethiopians were definitely black to the Romans. Ancient Jewish legends. We're going to skip that one because we know that's full of it. All right. Waite says an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews, especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Pritchard. The Duchess of Abrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. Okay? That's another witness for you. That's another witness. Okay? So I just showed you this. I just showed you this book, The Critical Annals of Literature. If you want this book, I'll get it for you. Now we're going to go into another book, okay? We're going to go into another book for you. And look, and this is an article about Portugal confronts its slave trade past. All right? So all the truth is there, just you have to find it. You have to look for it. See? Portugal, these are all devils. They are hiding the fact that the so-called Negroes who were shipped to the four corners of the earth were the Jews who they banished from Spain. This is what happened. Okay? So now I'm going to get another book here for you. And this one is going to be called I'm going to get a book called The New Voyage to, you know what? Let's get one. I'm going to get this book out the way. This book is called America Being the Latest and the Most Accurate Description of the New World. Okay, if you don't have this book, you need to get it. I'll see you in the PDF. It's a large one, though. It's large, okay? We're going to get page 74, okay? Page 74. Let's zoom in on this page 74 right here. It won't let me zoom in anymore. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. Page 74. All right. We're going to go 574, okay? This is, all right, so we're going to get down here. So I just read you this stuff in another book. Now I'm going to read it to you in another one. The Portuguese that dwelt on this island informed the Netherlanders that few lived above 50 years there, notwithstanding the great gain tempted them to carry, several of them having 200 or 300 Negroes that worked in the sugar mills. And I just read you in another book. They sent us to St. Thomas and to work on the sugar plantations, right? Okay. That John III, King of Portugal, sent a colony thither above 200 years before, whom though the unwholesome air destroyed, yet the place was not left desolate. For he sent new inhabitants who first settled in Guinea. Where's Guinea? I showed you where Guinea's at, right? Okay. Next in Angola, and lastly on the island of St. Thomas. So this is where they shipped our people from Spain. Now listen to this. So that they might be the better used to the air. So the Europeans who were sent to these colonies, they were dying faster than the slaves. They couldn't stand the air. The Europeans were dying. Europeans, they have a weaker immune system. So this couldn't have been those fake Jews over there in Israel. This is not them. Because how can they never talk about being enslaved? They never talk about going into slavery. You know why? Because it didn't happen to them. It only happened to us. Okay, let's keep going. Next in Angola, and lastly in St. Thomas, that so they might be the better use to the air, that the said king sold all those Jews for slaves. Look at this. All those Jews for slaves that refused to embrace the Roman religion and caused their children to be baptized, from who coming thither in great numbers, most of the present inhabitants were descended. So this is another book that shows you that these Jews who were sold as slaves were Negroes. Now this is an old book. This is a very old book. Let me show you when this was published. I believe this is a book in the 1800s. Let me see when it was. Let me just get this. So if you guys want this book, let me know. and I'll send you the PDF. Let me go all the way back to the beginning, and let me see if I can find the actual date on the publishing of this book. Okay. This is a hard file because it takes long to load, and it's like almost 800 pages. It's a thick book, as you can see. It's a very thick book. All right. Let me see when it was published. A lot of blank pages here. And then I'm going to jump into another book. So this is actually the picture in it. America. Let me do it down. America. America, the accurate description of the New World, containing the original inhabitants and the remarkable voyages thither, the conquest of vast empires of Mexico and Peru, and other large provinces and territories. All right, and it's talking about the European plantations, what I just read you, how the Jews were actually sold into slavery. Is there a date on here? But as you can see, it's an old book. It's an old book. It's a very old book. It's not a new book that they've done. I believe this book was published in like maybe the 1700s or the 1800s, something like that. All right. So anyway, that's that. You can do research on that yourself. Okay. All right. So that's that book. Now I'm gonna get you another book. I believe it's gonna be called. What's it gonna be called? The New Voyage to Italy. Okay. A New Voyage to Italy. This is an old book too. This is a reprint. All right. So I'm going to get into this book, and I'm going to get page 139, okay? Volume 2, Voyage to Italy. The author of La Roma Santa affirms that the Jews stink and that their noisome smell vanishes after they are baptized, all right? I know not why this should be reckoned wonderful. For those who are to be baptized are so carefully washed and cleansed that they must needs become sweet, so that they really stunk before. But it's ridiculous to imagine that the Jews, as being Jews, have a particular smell. The Jews at Rome are very poor. Those who are poor are always nasty, and those who are nasty usually stink. That is the mystery. So what they're pertaining to is that we were banished from Spain, and they took all of our riches, and we had no more money. We had to sell our land for pennies on the dollar, and the Europeans, they got all of our wealth. All right? Listen to this. This also a vulgar error that all, listen to this. This also a vulgar error that all Jews are black. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always among one another beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions. You see this? Now let's get swarthy real quick. Swarthy. Dark-skinned. She looked frail, standing next to her strong and swarthy brother. So what does swarthy mean? It means dark-complected. Beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race. So how many witnesses have I just showed you that's showing that the Jews were black people? And before we got sent to Africa on the coast of New Guinea, and they sent us to the four corners of the earth on slave ships, that we were called Jews in Spain. This is why they don't like to talk to you about the Dark Ages. All right, that's that book. Okay. Now let's get another book. Okay. I'm gonna keep chopping these books down because I got a lot of them. Okay. So this book is called an account of the slave trade of the coast of Africa. All right, and which one is this one? All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's read this. Let's get into this right quick. The principal places of trade for Negroes are Bonny and Calabar. The town of trade of Bonny I have already described. That Calabar is nearly similar. The natives of the latter are of a much more delicate frame than those of the Windward and Gold Coast. So they're talking about some other natives that are not as strong as the Jews, as the Negroes. The natives of Angola are the mildest and most experts in mechanics of any of the Africans. Their country is the most plentiful of any in those parts and produces different sorts of grain, particular calvises of which they seem, when on ship, bored to extremely fond. Here are like a hog, sheep, goats, fowls, and etc. in great abundance, in so much that when I was in the river of Ambrose, we could buy a fine fat sheep for a small keg of gunpowder. So what they're doing is they're saying how rich the land was. All right, let's go down to here. The Portuguese have a large town on this coast named St. Paul's, the inhabitants of which of the country for many miles round profess the Roman Catholic religion. They're in general strictly honest. The town of St. Paul strongly fortified, and the Portuguese do not suffer any other nation to trade there. So that's just showing you another fact of that the Spaniards settled off the Gold Coast in Africa and was still selling our people. All right, that's just what they do. That's just what they do. That is what they have done. You're just gonna have to deal with it. A lot of people don't want to deal with it, but it is what it is. All right. Okay, I got one for you. The Spanish Jew. I got one for you. This book is called The Spanish Jews of Judah. All right, listen to this, page 180. Here it is. Let's read this. The Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. In consequence of this supposed superiority, they have not till lately married or in any way incorporated with their brethren of any other nations. They have separate synagogues, and if a Portuguese Jew, even in England or Holland, married a German Jewish, he was immediately expelled from the synagogue. So that means if a native Jew, a black man, married a white person, he was expelled. In Portugal, the name of Jew or the word Jew is a term of such high reproach that the government found it necessary to pass a law to forbid any person calling another by that appellation. You see what I'm saying? That's actually in the Apocrypha, actually. A lot of you brothers are already going to know where I'm going with this, if I can find it right quick, because I know I'm kind of crunched for time. I'm kind of crunched for time right now. So I believe that was in, what was that? I believe it's Second Esdras. Where it was talking about, you profess yourself to be a Jew, you will be killed. A lot of you brothers already know where it's at. Wait, is that it? No. It's First Esdras. Let's see, where's it at? It's probably in, where's it at? Probably in Maccabees. Let's see here. Y'all bear with me right quick. Bear with me. I'll find it. No, it's in one of the, I know it's not Ecclesiasticus. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys can put the scripture down in the in the comments, because you guys know where I'm going with that, where it tells you that you cannot profess yourself to be a Jew. So this is the same thing here, okay? Same thing. All right. So once again, we see right here that the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. You understand? So I just showed you many sources that the especially the Portuguese Jews were black, and they were dark, and they were swarthy. And I'm going to show you how they were sold into slavery. Okay. Now we're going to get I'm going to save the juicy books for the end. I got some those other books were juicy, but I got some other juicy stuff too. Okay. Let me see. Now, okay, here it is. This right here is called the history. Oh, that's the history of the Jews. We want to get the history of Inquisition. History of Inquisition. Here it is. History of Inquisition. Okay, this is the book right here, History of Inquisition. It's a wonderful book. You guys got to get these books, man, because you can dispel everything about these devils of what they've done. And there's also a prophecy in the book of Enoch that says that in the last days that the books will be open, and also in Daniel that we would have all the books now, and we would be able to bust them out with their lies. Okay, let's get this. This is the History of Inquisition, page 150. The number of those who were banished from Spain. The number of those who were banished from Spain were according to some 400,000. Marinus says it is not easy to reduce them to any certain number, but most writers affirm there were 170,000 families that departed, and a few stayed behind were sold for what? For slaves. It was further also provided that in the future no Jew should ever again enter Spain, or pain or death and confiscation. The Jew, being thus driven from Spain, fled into Portugal and obtained from King John, under certain conditions, that they might live there for a season. The conditions were chiefly that everyone should pay the king 8 pieces of gold and leave Portugal within a limited time, forfeiting their liberty if they exceeded it. You see what I'm saying? This is what they have done to us, guys. This is what they have done to us. They have lied to us. We were in Spain, and I have books. There's a book that's called the Russian Icons. I have that book. Matter of fact, I'll go get it right now. I'll go get it. Russian Icons. All right. After mature deliberation, he commanded all Jews and Moors in Portugal who would not profess the Catholic faith to depart by a certain day or lose their liberty. The Moors immediately obeyed the king's decree and passed over into Africa. But as the Jews were preparing to do so, the king commanded all their children who were not more than 14 years old should be taken from their parents, educated in the Christian religion. It was at most afflicting to the children, snatched from the embraces of their mothers, and fathers embraced their children, torn from them, and even beat with clubs. To hear the dreadful cries they made, and every place filled with lamentations. This is what they done to our people. You guys need to wake up. This is how we got here to America in slavery. That's why they don't want to tell you what they done to us. Because if they told you what they did, it would piss you off. And you will start waking up, and they will fall. Let's keep going. And yells of women. Many through indignation threw their sons into pits. You see this? Many threw their sons into pits, and others killed their children with their own hands. Oppressed in this way on one hand, and by the difficulty of abstaining shipping on the other, many chose rather to make profession of Christianity than live in such misery, and being baptized recovered their rights and privileges. You see what I'm saying here? Let me see something. Let me see here. Something else here. It keeps going down, man. I mean, it gets worse and worse. But all right. Let me show you something else. Look here, y'all. The king granted that as many as should go over to Africa, and provided them with ships to transport them at the port of Estopa, demanding from every one that went over 10 pieces of gold only as the price of liberty. You see, his agreement being made, many went into Africa, through most of them remained in Spain, pretending themselves to be Christians, but not a jot to the better those who left, it being a very obstinate and wicked disposition. So a lot of our people wanted to stay because they didn't want to leave Spain. So they stayed and converted to Christianity. And let me show you a book that proves that. This book is called The Image of the Black in Western Art. All right. Now this stuff is getting heavy. You know, after you read this stuff, you start getting sad. You know, you start getting angry. You know, I've done this lesson a few times, but never on this scale. I never brought out this many books before, but this time I'm bringing them out. So, let me get it right here. This book is kind of big, so bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. All right, so these were the noblemen who converted, the Jews, the Negroes, who converted to Christianity. They got to keep their status as if they converted. And a lot of them were practicing secretly. All right. Let's get something else. See here. This is the Dark Ages. This is what they don't want you to know about the Dark Ages. All right, they keep this stuff secret and they keep it hidden. See, these are all people who had to convert to Catholicism and Christianity. See, this is what our people had to do. This is why they don't like to talk about the Dark Ages, because if they talked about the Dark Ages, you would find out that there was a lot of black people and nobility in Spain and in Europe. And find out that we actually ruled Europe. And then you have to start questioning, okay, so how do we get from there to slaves? That's why they don't want to talk about it. Because then they will have to tell the truth. And the truth is not in them. Because they are what? They are born liars. As soon as they come out the womb, they are born lying. That's just what they do. All right, family? It's more. All right. I got another book called The Russian Icons. I'll pull that out in a sec. Okay, so you see what they've done. They took our people. They converted them. The ones who wouldn't convert, they sold us into slavery. And that's pretty much what they've done to our people. Let's read this one. We have related in the former chapter how that the Jews being driven out of Spain were received under certain conditions by the King of Portugal. However, not many years after he erected the tribunal of the Inquisition in his kingdom, after the model of that in Spain, he speaks of this affair, describing the death of the King John III, how great his zeal was to maintain the faith in the ancient splendor, his introducing the sacred tribunal of inquisitors of hearsay into Portugal. So what he did was he introduced inquisitors and a tribunal that any of the Israelites who are still practicing their faith would be tried and then put to death and burnt at the stake. All right, that's how this thing works. This is what these devils have done to us. All right. Let's get this book right here, Narrative Travels and Discoveries in the Northern and Central Africa. All right, this is a book of travels from Europeans who've traveled to Africa, and this is what they have said and saw. All right, Journey, page 64. Let's start here. I had bought a sheep for $1, a coin with which he was not conversing, and he asked if it was true that they came out of the earth. The explanation pleased him. You are not Jews? Said he. No, said I, Christians. Then, even so, replied I have read of you. You are better than Jews, said he. Are Jews white like you? No, replied I, rather more like yourself, very dark. So, in this time, the Israelites, the Jews, they couldn't say that they were Jews or Israelites. So a lot of their children didn't even know who they were anymore. And that's where it comes to discontinue from thy heritage. That's what the scripture says. I believe that's Jeremiah something, where it says you were discontinued from thy heritage. And that's what we have done. We have discontinued from our heritage. All right. Now we're going to get, I showed you this one already. The Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim they're descended from the tribe of Judah. I showed you that. Now we're going to get some juicy stuff right here. I got some juicy stuff. This is going to be some juicy stuff. Actually, let me do the Jews and Moors in Spain. The Jews and Moors in Spain. This book here is a juicy book. The Jews and Moors in Spain. You can get this book. We're going to start off. I suggest you get this on your book. You see how many tabs I have here. Like, I don't want to go through the whole stuff with you, but I'm just going to give you stuff, you know what I'm saying, so you can go on. We're going to start at page 213, and we're going to go down. All right. Let's see here. Where's it at? 213. All right, here it is. Let's go. The prince asked the sultan, who can thus impoverish his own kingdom and enrich ours? Nearly 150,000 souls made their way by land to Portugal, whose king John II dispensed with his scruples of conscience so far as to allow all his greed to triumph over his creed. He granted them a passage through his dominion on their way to where? Africa. Actually, let's keep going. And the permission of an 8 months stay in this realm in consideration of a tax of $8 a head, which immense sum he levied from the native Portuguese Jews. Ferdinand and Isabella threatened, and Torquemada was the inquisitor who was convicting our people and killing us. Excited the Portuguese clergy, but John II had over $1 million to quicken his conscience and to wage war if necessary. All right. And expecting it, he instantly put such of the Jewish exiles who were manufacturers of arms and miners to work, but his clemency was of short duration. It soon gave way to the most frightful era of the exile sufferings, when the news reached the homeless exiles of the atrocious crimes inflicted upon their brethren on their way to the African coast. You see, we were banished from Spain and sent to the coast of Africa, which is where? New Guinea. New Guinea. This is what they have done to us, y'all. This is what they have done to us. You guys got to wake up. Don't let that be true. If you want to hide something from a nigga put in the book, don't let that be true about you. Research. Don't be some dumb negro, some dumb negress who don't want to read nothing. I'm reading it to you right here. I'm reading it to you. By inhumane captives and heartless crews, seeing nothing but cruel death before them, whether going or whether remaining, they preferred meeting death in Portugal to exposing themselves to the inhumanity and beastly lust and the torture of the barbarous pirate sailors, listen to this, and African savages. This is another book proving that the Africans are different from the Negroes. And listlessly awaiting death and praying for it that they remain after the time purchased that their stay had passed away. To their misfortune, the plague broke out in Portugal and raged with death and fury. Immediately the church arose, held the Jews responsible for the visitation of the plague. All Jewish children below 14 years of age were torn from their parents and dragged into the church, baptized. Those under 3 years of age were given to Christians to receive a Christian education, or in other words, to be raised as slaves. Those between 3 and 10 years of age were put on board a ship and conveyed to the newly discovered unwholesome island of St. Thomas. This is how our people got to St. Thomas. It's to the coast off of Africa. This is how we got here. Okay? This book, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going here. The Jews have experienced fully the unequaled skill of the church and the mystery and pain. Mothers cast themselves at the feet of the tyrants and pitifully beg to be taken with their babes. They were heartlessly thrust aside. Hundreds of the mothers, and mad with despair, ran behind the ships as they carried off the idols of their heart and perished in the waves. The serene fortitude with which the exiled people had borne so many and such grievous calamities gave way at last and was replaced by the wildest paroxysms of despair. Piercing shrieks of anguish filled the land. Childless and brokenhearted, they now sought to leave the land, but they were told that they had forfeited their right, and they were given the choice between baptism and slavery. This did not happen to those Jewish people. To those people claiming to be Jewish, this didn't happen to them. Why don't they talk about it? Because they lie. They lie. Instead, they talk about the Holocaust that only happened supposedly from 1942 to 1945. And they say in 3 years that they killed 6 million of them. That's a lie. That's a lie. Blasphemy. Revelation 2:9 says the people who call themselves Jews, they lie. They're the synagogue of Satan. All right? Thousands, after enduring all they did after leaving their beloved Spain and all their wealth and ease, submitted to baptism now. In hope of being reunited with their children, thousands were sold as slaves, yet prior to their being sold, they were submitted to tortures, cruelties, outrages too revolting, too repulsive, too heartrending, to be narrated. Terror seized upon the native Portuguese Jews when they helplessly beheld the cruelties to which their Spanish brethren were subjected. They knew they themselves could not escape the wrath of the church much longer, and they thought of flight, and well had it been for them had they made their escape then. While they were making secret preparations, John II died. He had been afflicted on the very day with ships laden with Jewish exiled children set sail for the isle of the condemned criminals, with a strange, painful malady had lingered ever since. Whew. So you see what they've done to us, y'all. This is how we came from. This is how we got here to America and in the four corners of the earth. We didn't just come from Africa. They used Africa as a slave coast. They got us from Spain and Portugal. We were banished from Spain and Portugal. From there, they shipped us to the African coast to be sold as slaves to the four corners of the earth. And then from there, the Arabs, the Edomites, and the Hagarenes, they all took part, and the Hamites, they all took part in our slavery. Whew. All right. Let's go over to page 217. This is rough, when you read this stuff, it's sad. It's very sad, because especially when our people won't even hearken to this stuff. They don't even care. They won't even listen. All right. We're gonna get 217, and we're gonna get here. Okay. He gave secret orders. So what happened was Manuel, his father died. His father got judged by the Most High. So now the son, he wanted to have a pity on us, but his wife, was a Catholic, and they arranged a marriage, and the wife wasn't having it, so she wanted us sent away. She didn't want us there anymore. So he felt bad because he was going to give us mercy, but he had to get with the program and expel us again. All right, let's keep going with this. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a brief history on what happened real quick. Manuel soon regretted his signing away his most industrious, most intelligent, and most precious citizens, which were us. We are the salt of the earth. If you notice, wherever we go, we do everything, right? But the marriage contract held him fast, and the Spanish queen kept a watchful eye on him and Torquemada upon both. The prospective vast empire and the Spanish crown still dazzled his eyes. He planned a strategy. He thought he could force the parents to embrace Christianity and to remain, if he once succeeded in getting all their children into his power and to the Christian faith. So he thought he could save our people by converting us. But the Torquemada and his wife, they was watching him. They was like, no, you're not. You're kicking them out of here. And we were his most prized citizens because we're the ones who created all the art and all the knowledge and everything, because Most High gave us the knowledge. He gave secret orders for the repetition of the atrocious crime of having all children under 14 years of age seized from their mother's bosoms and father's arm, dispersed through the kingdom to be baptized and brought up as Christians. The secret became known. Portugal again re-echoed the wails of the stricken ones. Frantic mothers threw their children into deep wells of rivers. Mothers were known to take their babes from their breasts and tear them limb from limb rather than to resign them to be Christians. They would rather know that the bodies of their children in the grave and their released spirit in heaven than have them adopt a faith into which Satan sent his friends for their schooling. This is what our foremothers had to do to our ancestors, our babies. They threw them in. The parents were killing the children, and that's just what it was. Well, that's what it is. This is why they don't talk about this stuff, because if you know what they did to us, you would be pissed off. It would piss you off. All right, I got another book. This one is going to be called The History of the Jews, Volume 4. History of the Jews, Volume 4. This book is going to... It pretty much says the same things that all the other books have said, but it gets into something a little bit more... a little bit more technical, okay? So I'm going to read you this. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to read you something different that I didn't read in all the other books, okay? Okay, watch this. Let's go to... let's start here, okay? On the Sabbath, they stripped the plants with their teeth in order not to desecrate the holy day by gathering them. Starvation, pestilence, and the unfriendliness of the Mohammedan, which was the Muslim, people vie with each other or the Moors, inflicting misery upon the Jews, which were the Negroes. In their awful despair, fathers were driven to sell their children as slaves to obtain bread. Mothers killed their little ones that they might not see them perish from the pangs and hunger. Adventurous, I know I slaughtered that word. Captains took advantage of the distress of the parents to entice starving children on board their vessels with offers of bread, and deaf to the cries of entreaties of the parents, carry them off to distant lands where they sold them for a good price. Let's keep going down. The descriptions by their contemporaries of the sufferings of the Jews make one's hair stand on end. They were dogged whithersoever they went. Those whom plague and starvation had spared fell into the hands of the brutalized men. The report got about the Spanish Jews had swallowed the gold. So you see here, the Spanish Jews, and I proved to you in other books that they're Negroes. The Spanish Jews had swallowed the gold and silver which they had been forbidden to carry away, intending to use it later on. Cannibals, therefore, ripped open their bodies to seek for coin in their entrails. That means they ripped open their stomachs to get and took the gold out of their intestines. And a lot of them, they didn't even find the gold. All right. Where is it at? Okay. Stand on in. Okay, here it is. The Genoese shipfolk behaved most inhumanely to the wanderers who had trusted their lives to them. From avarice or sheer delight in the death of agonies of Jews, they flung many of them into the sea. One captain offered insult to the beautiful daughter of a Jewish wanderer. Her name was Paloma Dove, and to escape shame, the mother threw her and her other daughters and then herself into the waves. The wretched father composed in heartbreaking lamentation for his lost dear ones. Those who reached the port of Genoa had to contend with the new miseries. In this thriving town, there was a law that the Jews might not remain there for longer than 3 days. As the ships were to convey the Jews, thence required repairing, the authorities conceded the permission to them to remain. So you see what's happening here. And you see these ships, Deuteronomy 28:68. That's what I can tell you. Deuteronomy 28:68. Okay. Now now we're gonna get page 369. I know this is long, y'all, but just bear with me here because I'm bringing out some information here, and I hope you guys can bear with it. I'm just bringing out some stuff that other people don't know about. Okay, page 369 or 368, excuse me. And I'm going to start off right here. Although King Joe thus employed learned and skillful Jews for his own ends, he had no liking for the Jewish race. He was indifferent, or rather inimical to them. Directly they came into the way of his bigotry. In the year in which he dispatched Joseph Zapatero and Abraham de Bia to Asia at the instigation of Pope Innocent, he appointed a commission of the Inquisition for the Moranos who had fled from Spain to Portugal, and like Ferdinand and Isabella in Spain, delivered over those who had Jewish leanings either to the death by fire or to the endless imprisonment. Some Moranos having taken a ship to Africa, you see these ships to Africa? This is how we got to Africa. This is how we got to Africa. But they don't want to tell you this. Your enemies are not going to tell you this, y'all. They're not going to tell you this, okay? And their openly adopted Judaism. He prohibited under penalty of death and confiscation baptized Jews or new Christians from leaving the country by sea. On the breath of this heartless monarch hung the life or death of hundreds of thousands of Jewish exiles. Let's keep going. Right here, we'll start here. The Portuguese, who also suffered from the plague, believed that the Jews had brought it into the country, and indeed all that they suffered, the oppressive heat at the time of their going forth, what misery at all kinds of devastating diseases, may have developed it. A considerable number of Spanish refugees died of the plague in Portugal. The population on this account murmured against the king, complaining that the pestilence had followed in the track of the accursed Jews and established itself in the country. Now, if you read Deuteronomy 28, forgot what it is, 28 something, where it says that these diseases will be stuck to you. This is what's happening. And the book that I just read you about the children being sold into slavery, that's in Deuteronomy 2. Your children will be sold to another nation. You will not be able to enjoy your children because they will go into slavery. You see, these are secular books. This is secular knowledge. This did not happen to those other people over there. This didn't happen to them because they would be talking about it. You see, so they had to create this other atrocity that's fake, the Holocaust. They had to make this atrocity and put it in the forefront when that's not in the scriptures. But slave ships and children being sold and being hanged, that's in the scriptures. So this stuff is not pertaining to them. They jacked us. Just like Pastor Stephen Darby said, they jacked us. Let's get page 369. All right. Let's start here. Frequently, these inhumane mariners landed them in some desolate spot on where? The African coast, and left them to perish from hunger and despair, or to fall prey to the Moors. You see that? But here, they're talking about the Arabs who took them prisoners, or Hamites who also took us prisoners and sold us into slavery. The sufferings of the exiled Jews who left Portugal in ships, Deuteronomy 28:68, are related by an eyewitness, the Kabbalist Judah ben Jacob Chayat of a noble wealthy family. The vessel which he, his wife, and 250 other Jews, or both sexes in all ages, had embarked, left the harbor of Lisbon in winter in 1493, and lingered 4 months upon the waves, because no seaport would take them, and for fear of the plague. Provisions on board naturally ran short. The ship was captured by Biscayan pirates, plundered, and taken to the Spanish port of Malaga. You see, this is what these people have done to us, y'all. This is what they have done to us. And at the same time, they're trying to insert these European Jews into this atrocity, but they can't. This is why they don't talk about it. This is worse than the Holocaust. This is why they don't talk about this stuff. Let's keep going down. Let me see. Let's keep going. The prisoners of magistrate town desire. Okay. Look at this. The priests and magistrates of the town desired to incline them to the teaching of Christ by the pangs of hunger. So they starved them into Christianity. That was another tactic they did to starve them into Christianity. All right. Look at this. When after 2 months, the remainder of them received permission to sail to the coast of where? Africa. Do you see all the chapters I've read you in different books that the Jews were sent to the coast of Africa, to New Guinea? To New Guinea? You see what I'm saying? To New Guinea. Here. To here. This is where the Jews of Spain were sent, and Portugal were sent here. And then from there, they were sold as slaves. You see? These books are old books, and they're telling the truth. All right? On account of the plague, they were not permitted to land at any town and had to depend upon the herbs of the field. Chayat himself was seized and flung by a malicious Mohammedan, which a Muslim, Arab, into a horrible dungeon full of snakes and salamanders in order to force him to adopt Islam. You see what these people have done? In case of refusal, he was threatened with death by stoning. These continuous grinding cruelties did not make him waver one instant in religious convictions. You see, this is what they have done to our people. Okay? They have taken us and they have took us from Spain and they sent us to the African coast and the slave coast. And then from there, they sold us into slavery. This is what they have done to us, you guys. This is what they have done to us. All right, now I'm going to show you one last thing. I believe that's it. But I'm going to show you another thing in this book, which is going to be on page 653. 653. Now I'm going to show you how they call us the children of Ham. You see, these devils, they write their genius in their books. They write it in their books, and they're so freaking proud of the wickedness of them. Just like the scripture says, they speak wickedly of oppression. This is what they have done, okay? This is page 653 of this book, The History of the Jews, Volume 4. We're going to go down. All right, let's go here. The Jews of Italy fared even worse at this time, and they sank into misery and decay. Italy was the principal seat of the malicious and exonerable ecclesiastical reaction, animated with the thought to annihilate the opponents of Catholicism from the face of the earth. The torch of the Civil War was hurled from the Vatican into Germany, France, and the Netherlands, and as the Jews from the time of Paul and Pius had been upon the list of heretics or foes of the church, what their lot was not to be envied. With the loss of their independence, their numbers also decreased. There were no Jews living in southern Italy and northern Italy. The largest communities, those of Venice and Rome, numbered only between 1,000 and 2,000 souls. The community, listen to this, y'all, the community in Mantua had only 1,844, and in the whole of the district of Cremona, Lodi, there dwelt 889. Listen to this, you guys. By nature, a sinister ecclesiastic delighting in persecution, who treated Jews as the cursed children of Ham, was succeeded by Gregory the 13th, 1572 to 1585, who had been skillfully trained of fanaticism by the Jesuits and the Theatine monks. You see, this is where they get that they call us Negroes Ham. This is the date, and this is when they did it. So they banished us from Spain. They sent us to the slave coast of Africa. From there, they sent us, and to Portugal and St. Thomas as slaves. A few of us who converted to Christianity and Catholicism got to stay and migrated to Europe and all different parts, but the majority of us were sent into slavery on slave ships. And then to get rid of our name here, they start calling us. It tells you the name. It tells you his name. Gregory the 13th start calling us Hamites instead of Israelites. You see? That was a lot of books. That's what these people have done. And there's many more books too. I have many more. Books to go on. But this is what they have done. Also get this book right here, The Jews of Spain, Portugal, and the Inquisition. This book says the same exact thing. But I'm not going to get into this because I'm just going to read you the same stuff over and over again. I want you to get a book by Dante Forson. This book actually shows a lot of pictures during the Dark Ages that they don't like to show you. All right, there's a lot of pictures that's in the Dark Ages that they don't like to show you that they were had on their monasteries and everything. So the cat is out the bag, y'all. I want to say all praises to the Most High. I was going to get a book called Russian Icons, but I got that. I showed you that book before. That book is like $1,200, $3,000, whatever, but it keeps going up. But all praises to the Most High that this information is coming out. I pray that you guys got something from this. Like and subscribe. Send this video to many people as you can, because I showed you facts. I didn't speak out of my own tongue. I read you books. And then I also referenced scriptures. Okay? This is what's happening to our people. So my last video I did about the 400 years, this is what happened prior to the 400-year captivity. This is what these people have done to us. And this is why they hide the truth and keep it a secret. Because if we know what they did, we would not be Christians. We would not be Catholics. We would not participate in none of them. If we know what they did to us, we would be enraged. Okay? All praise to the Most High for bringing this information out. I want to tell all my family members, I love you guys all. Stay prayed up, because, we're in a time of judgment here. All right. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.